as compared to the benefits, the economic benefits of immigration?
That's a good last question, because it gives them a chance to sort of lay it out and close us down.
I'll start on this, and I'll take the first word instead of the last, because I've been curious myself, and I'm thinking that just as an economist, and this notion of, is there a stealing of jobs, is there displacement? What I found, I did a state-by-state study. States have different levels of immigration. California, for example, has had 15% of its workforce was immigrants back in 1980. I think it's closer to 30%. It's a big number. So I may get that wrong, but I looked at the changes on a state-by-state level and then how job growth happened and what unemployment rates look like. What I found is it's nuanced. There's a short-term cost when there's a surge of immigration, but it's really minor. So if you see 1% increase in immigrants, legal immigrants or illegal, we're not making a distinction, as a percentage of the workforce. So 1% increase causes about a 0.1% decrease in average wages, right? So it's small. Good news is it's temporary. About 10 years, 20 years later, it's completely gone. So what we find are states that have higher immigration populations have more entrepreneurship. Immigrants tend to start more companies, about twice as frequently, which means more job growth, which means higher wages over the long term. So it's nuanced, but the net benefit in the long term outweighs the net cost in the short term.
I think our studies have shown something similar. We did a similar economic study at employment levels at a county level basis. And what we found is that statistically there's a very small correlation between the number of immigrants in a county and the employment rate of native-born Americans, but it was positive. So more immigrants meant more Americans working too. This idea that most of us kind of got from maybe our high school economics classes, the supply and demand curves of labor and prices, all of that, that if you increase the supply of labor, the price of labor, the wages have to go down. That's what's called a static analysis. That is, if your economy never changed and nothing else was different and there were no other factors in your economy, guess what? That's not how the real world works. There are lots of other factors in the economy. There are lots of other things that impact what people are paid and what prices are charged and how many people are working. Immigrants, yes, they work. So there's a job that they are in. But guess what? They also shop, they buy, they create other economic activity that generates other jobs. And so do you, right? You are both a cost and a benefit to society at different times, at different points in your life. And immigrants are no different. But the preponderance of all economic evidence is that as a country, we have done better economically by having immigrants here.
Right. I agree. Short-term costs mainly borne by state government, long-term benefits. Social Security is pulling in $9 billion a year from workers who will never benefit from the Social Security system that they're paying into because they're falsely documented paying Social Security, FICA, and they're not going to get it back. But I'm not an economist, but I am a proud American. And you look at this country and you say, let's see, if immigration is bad for us economically, how could this nation of immigrants become the most successful, prosperous nation in the world? When do the negatives kick in? Given that our entire history, we've taken people from around the world, from different backgrounds, this polyglot nation that's thrown together with this notion that we should be free, not based on blood and soil, but based on ideas and ideals. And we give people freedom and opportunity, and if they act responsibly, they contribute to building this country, and look at us. So from my point of view, I've read all the economic studies, I get the on balance positive benefit, but from my point of view, this is fundamental to who we are. This is fundamental to what we're about, that the American idea is infused with immigrant talent, joining with people born here to create this nation that is the city on the hill. And for me, that's why immigration is so valuable.
Frank Shanley. Teresa Cardinal Brown, Tim Kaine, please thank all. plenary session. It's been a great kick for me to meet so many of you over this long weekend that you took so seriously and worked so hard in your small sessions. Hearing the group pride come out at the microphone has been kind of a kick for me. I have to say, like my children, I love you all equally. Thanks a lot for all your hard work. There will be a short break, and we will have an announcement to close us down from one of the big designers, the big brains behind this, Dan Werner. Dan?
I'm not going to do what everybody else did, and thank you guys for coming, for giving up 4 days and being here and working so hard. I'm just not going to do that. It's not my style. But I will tell you that an English press lord named Ward Beaverbrook once said that television is a 10,000-pound pencil. And the point of our pencil here the last couple of days has been Ray Suarez, who has done an absolutely splendid A 10,000-pound pencil means there are a lot of people and organizations involved. The folks at Stanford University, at the Center for Deliberative Democracy, the students from Stanford who came, the folks from the National Opinion Research Center at the University of Chicago, who worked so hard on this for so long and are here now and are going to tabulate the polls that you do, the terrific crew by the people who behind the scenes have helped make this work and have been an absolute delight to be part of. The folks from the Helena Foundation have been just hugely important to what we're doing and how this works. The folks, so they all deserve to be thanked, but also deserves to be thanked are sort of the America in one room, but not necessarily in this room. But in this room, we've been joined by a terrific crew. I don't know everybody's name. I do know the fabulous stage manager, Renee, who you've seen running around doing the placement and stuff. That was... We have in the truck, which you don't see, there's a whole little television seat built in the back of this extraordinary hotel. And the crew back there, and I don't know everybody's name, but I do know John Libretto, I do know Dave, the technical director, I do know Scott, Dave, the assistant director, Scott, the TD, and we have a wonderful audio guy whose name happens to be Toast. And they are just part of the crew I want to thank. And I'm also going to thank my crutches that I could not have done this without, and that is the folks, the business side of this, Steve Alper and his crew that really put this together. Molly, who created this extraordinary set, which out of nothing, you should have seen this room, it was a blank room 2 days ago. And then all those people, but also all the people here at the Marriott, who've been so terrific, who do conventions all the time, they're used to it, and they consider this important. I hope you feel, as I did, that they treated you as best they possibly could, and just remember that everybody's doing their jobs, but we're doing it to make this work, and to make what you're doing work, because what you're doing by coming here and filling out the poll, which you're going to go back to your small groups and do, is important work. And that's why we all gathered together, this huge crew, gathered together so you could do your work, and some nicer guy than me, somebody else will thank you. Thank you.